I have the pleasure of speaking with Linda Costa, a remarkable figure whose family has been at the forefront of olive farming for generations.
Yes, my grandfather arrived here early in the 20th century, I think about 1903. And he came along really because he was a horticulturist from Genoa. And he had an order for some olive trees for South Africa. And out of curiosity, he decided to follow the trees. So he came out by ship with the trees and never went back.
Even though you grew up on an olive farm, you studied pharmacology, what made you decide to make olives a career?
Yes, when I moved onto the farm, there were some grapes and some clementine trees. And I knew I was going to plant olive trees. But in the process of trying to acquire trees, I was needing Kalamata trees because that's what I want for my table olive processing. But at the time, it was so difficult to get them because people were struggling to propagate them. So after a few years, I thought this is definitely a little gap in the market. So I decided to start a little nursery. I had some help to do that. With the aim, we did all the cultivars, but the aim was to eventually concentrate on Kalamata propagation, which we're now doing, we're doing relatively successfully, I believe.
A recent article highlighted that there is a shortage of olive oil worldwide. What do you think is causing that?
It's a combination of factors, definitely. Climate being a major factor. So if they have an off-season or some problem as they have had in Europe with infestations of various diseases, then it impacts, dramatically on the supply. And as we're becoming more savvy about the health benefits of olive oil, as opposed to how dangerous some of the other oils are that we are using and we use every day, people are starting to definitely gravitate towards using olive oil. And yet the producers in South Africa seem to be not able to keep up with demand.
From a business perspective, is it a viable proposition, knowing that the yields fluctuate?
The accepted view is that if you have at least 20 hectares planted, it starts becoming a viable business. Smaller than that, it's wonderful, but more lifestyle, whereas 20 hectares or more becomes a viable proposition. And then, of course, the bearing of the yield of the trees is very dependent on how you treat them and how you manage them. If you can look after them in a natural, organic way, get your soil microbiome going properly, looking after the tree and reading the signs. The tree tells us everything it needs. If we look and if we notice what the tree's telling us.
Where to from here for Linda Costa?
I believe I'll always, I think olive oil runs in my veins. So that is what I love. I love teaching people how to make good olives. I love teaching people how to appreciate good olive oil. The fermentation tanks that I have for table olives are unique and they work so well, so easily. So I would like to take that further and, assist other people in making olive processing a joy instead of a nightmare.